1860. The annual convention of the Episcopal Diocese of New York took place at St. John's Chapel in the city of New York. John Jay takes the floor as a delegate from St. Matthew's in Bedford. Sir, I offer you to adopt these resolutions, recognizing the horror of slavery. Then it was in the hands of the delegate to vote, and this is the vote. Those who voted aye were voting to table a motion. 55 clergy voted aye, 7 clergy voted in favor. 44 laity voted to table a motion. 6 voted in favor. Jay's motion was voted down. Surely something not to be proud of.
Remembering the building. The location is between Erickson Place and Lake Street. Now, you know, this is a case where things could be right in your face and you may not know what you're sort of looking for. You know, I'm wondering, these resolutions have sat on the table since 1860. It is so painful. It is painful to people who have family that were slaves.
Although this particular building was not built with slave labor, its predecessor was. In fact, where is this? Right there. Richard Jenkins was the first sexton of St. James. He belonged to Samuel Bard, who was one of the founding members of the congregation. He gave this land for the church, and when he founded this congregation, he owned about 8 people, Richard Jenkins being one of them.
We know that bishops owned slaves because that's documented in some of the data that I've been looking at. That made us bad guys.
That's the kind of inheritance we get, and in a kind of almost a theological way, it's like an original sin. It's the evil that we have to combat so that we can, as the church, be a leader in transforming society. I mean, we've got to say, this is part of the written record. It's part of the narrative of the history of the Diocese of New York. And so will Diocesan Convention 2019 be part of the written history of the Diocese of New York.
What's happening in 2019 is that Mr. J is actually getting a chance in absentia to present his resolution again to convention.
The actual presentation is a dramatic reading, simply 4 people reading verbatim the full language of the resolution itself. One of the things that somebody said to me was, well, I wasn't alive back then. And I said, yes, but this is the church. And the church it's the same church today as it was 150 years ago. So the church itself has cause to apologize.
We're going to acknowledge that, and we're going to, at least at the surface of it, correct it by voting on it again. And we're going to recommit ourselves to transforming the society, our society, current society.
Okay, here it is. The process of reparation is a historical reckoning involving acknowledgement that an offense against humanity was committed and that the people have not received justice.